Hey, my name is Brian, that is Shane, and this is the Popcast Unleashed. You missed us last week, but we're back, baby. Last week was a little bit nuts. People got sick. There was a death in my family. Just a whole lot of stuff going on. So we just couldn't bring the heat last week, and we didn't want to give you guys, a half show. We always want to give you the full show. We always want to go as full retard as possible. I'm sorry, what?
We don't want to give you a half butt show. We want to give you a whole butt show.
Yeah, the full butt. All the butt.
You got to get all the butt.
Yes. So, speaking of butts, your butt is actually sort of low in your mic for some reason. I don't know what happened.
See, this is why I said we got to test it before. I said
it was fine before, and it's not fine now. I don't know what you want from me.
Other than going live.
All right, anyways, listen, thank you so much for being here on our Friday Night Live Pick a Party. We are talking about the following. Marisa Tomei wants to sleep with Pete Davidson.
I try to come at you hard with the first one.
It's so weird because, I Googled that and I can't find any mention of that whatsoever. So
it's because it's you got to read between the lines. I did give you a link though.
You didn't give me a link, but it's cool.
It's the latest one. Check it out.
All right. We are breaking down episode 1 of Picard season 2. That's why you're here, folks. And it's a hell of a breakdown. We are fired up. Looking at a non-spoiler look at the new Batman movie. A little investor note. Start buying PayPal, folks. Peacock takes a swipe at Hulu. It's going to remove a bunch of stuff, which is going to be bad for Hulu. And there's a petition to officially take new Trek, the current Trek that's going on, remove it from the canon of all the Trek. Don't know how far they're going to get on that petition, but it's up there. For the members, we are talking about the best thing to ever come to prequels, coming to the Star Wars Obi Wan series. And we're talking about what's going on with Liam Nisan. It's interesting. We're going to take a look at his IMDb because it's looking rough. And the Quantum Leap lead has been cast, and we would like to say that we were pretty much on the money with that cast list. Anyways, that's the show today. I hope that you guys stick around for the whole thing. Shane, what's happening, bro?
Yeah, just to recap a little bit on the week, it has been a weird week. We've been really busy, got a lot going on, but now that we're here, we're ready to do our thing, and we appreciate you guys all tuning in so Brian can brush his beard and look really cool. Yeah.
I just realized that I forgot to brush my beard and my eyebrows. I'm just going to knock that out real quick.
Yeah, so we're just glad to have you here.
Yeah, we are. All right. So, before we get in the news, you want to talk about anything, man? You want to talk about what's going on with you?
Just trying to think. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on the Prime channel right now, right? A little bit. So last week, wow, I got all kind of stuff here. Okay, so last week we rocked out the Picard Romulan mirror universe. We're going to talk a little bit more about that inside of our Picard season 1.
Yeah, but we're not wrong. We're not wrong yet.
We're not wrong yet. And I still feel there's a lot about what we said that's going to be right. If you haven't checked out that Quantum Leap call sheet, we actually did a video that broke down. We got advanced information on who they were going to be casting, and it looks like the first one is correct. So that means that entire cast sheet is likely correct, which means you want to go see that video to see those calls that we made, because that's going to be coming out soon. And then once we get into the member section, we'll go into the upcoming videos that we're going to be doing and breaking down some of that so you guys can see what's coming.
Sweet.
I like the way you said that. Sweet. Say it again, like sweet.
I've been watching a bunch of South Park recently, and let me tell you something. Those guys.
That was your Eric Cartman.
They're geniuses. I mean,
yeah, we know that.
It's something that people don't know is that they actually got the dictionary to change the definition of a slur word for almost a year because of how popular a single episode was. The Webster's Dictionary was forced to at least include the note to an alternate definition of a word that I can't say here. Because of how popular a single episode of South Park was. That is just so impressive to me. I've been binge watching it, and man, South Park is good.
What are you watching? Old episodes or
old episodes? I started off at like season 10 or something, and I've been going forward from there.
Okay. South Park is definitely part of pop culture history. I mean, it's one of the longest running show. Well, you have a lot of cartoons that are long running, but it's a really long running show. It's basically been one of the only shows that can't be canceled for its content.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really. What season are you on right now, or where are you at?
I'm on season 15, and I believe I'm watching. I'm watching the episode where they're trying to figure out the appropriate penis size. It's called TMI, and Randy has this very long mathematical sequence on how to appropriately determine the true length of one's penis.
Of course,
because
of course Randy does.
If you just measured his penis straight up, it would be 4.2 inches. But you have to measure it from this point to this point, add the circumference, and then adjust the proper straight length, and then bring this about, and then measure the girth of the testicles, and then that comes out to 6.7 inches, which is above the natural average.
Okay. Is this like an official thing now? Like, is this like how everybody's supposed to officially measure their junk? Or
I just love how they broke it down. Like, it wasn't, in some TV shows, they go, let me show you, this is how you get your true, and maybe it's a joke, but they actually showed him going through the math with a protractor and explaining the process so that other people could then use the same math to determine their true measurement. That was the same episode also that had like, no. That was the episode where they figured out that their manhood was small, and that's
really?
what made them so angry. And so there's a bunch of like alt-right people that had like small junk that were angry.
Okay.
And they're like they took over a Federal Express, a FedEx, because they thought it was part of the federal government, and they wanted the federal government to deal with all these like ludicrous things, and like one of them was like, we want you to deal with this tax, and big federal things that can't be done, and like the last thing was Cartman. He goes and punch Kyle in the face.
That was his last thing? Yeah.
Another episode where Cartman helps the school basically put X-Lax in pizza for some reason. It's a very convoluted storyline. But his payment was to meet Selena Gomez.
Okay.
But that wasn't the actual payment. So he goes, before we proceed, my payment, please. And they're like, oh, that's right. Come on in, Selena. So he's like, hi, Cartman. Did you want to... I'm so glad you wanted to meet me. Would you like to get a selfie? He goes, no, thank you. Please proceed. And they proceed to beat the crap out of Selena Gomez. So his payment was to beat up Selena Gomez.
Oh, my gosh. That is pretty funny.
But if you look at the show, she voiced her own character.
Oh, she did?
Yes.
So they don't usually do that.
They don't usually do that, bro.
Okay. So she must have been all about it.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you? Even that terrible episode of Michael Jackson, why wouldn't he have, if he had been alive?
Oh my God.
Why not come back and do it? Right?
There was an episode where they talked about purgatory, and they can bring back one celebrity, and they like want and they were trying to figure out who they were going to bring back from the dead. And Michael Jackson was a contender. He ends up going into the body of his little brother. I'm done.
Oh, like Tito Jackson or like Tito?
No, he goes in the body of like Kyle's little brother, the Canadian kid.
Yeah.
And he's like,
no way, really.
All right.
Oh.
We gotta stop talking about South Park. I can talk about it all day. It's hilarious. So
I
good.
can't wait to see what they're going to do next. That COVID 2-part series was so fun.
It was so good. The fact that they actually made them adults for the first time ever is great. You know what's funny is I've been binge watching it, and I've noticed that they've now had in the period of 4 seasons, they've had 4 10-year-old birthday parties for the same kid. So it's an ongoing joke that you can only really understand if you're binge watching the show. But they keep having birthday parties for one kid, and it's always a 10-year birthday party.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to keep going. Well, I have to go back and watch again, but there's so much stuff to watch, including something I'm not watching, which is Saturday Night Live. And I don't watch. I used to be an avid Saturday Night Live watcher. I watched every week, right up until they went totally crazy left wing on me.
Yeah.
I stopped watching them.
That S word crazy.
But I can't get the Pete Davidson news away from me. I can't. It just keeps coming, dude, constantly.
All right, we're gonna talk about
going crazy.
I know, and we're gonna talk about Pete Davidson and how large his junk is. I know you always want to talk about that every week.
Is he gonna get the measurement from Randy?
He's gonna get the measurement. If he gets the measurement from Randy, yeah, it's gonna be really impressive. Jeremy just said, "I was so pissed at Discovery it soured me to Picard." Yeah, bud. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I wanted to talk about Discovery tonight, but I thought we'd save that for next week so that we could talk about Picard in full today.
Yeah. Plus, isn't there another episode of Discovery before they wrap it up, right?
I thought they were ending it the same night that Picard was. I didn't see it.
I watched it. They didn't end anything, so.
Okay, so maybe next week we'll get the last one.
Yeah.
We'll have to take a look.
If that's the case, then, we'll be able to talk about it next week.
But that's interesting because Jeremy was kind of on the Discovery bandwagon a little bit.
A little bit, and then
he's thinking it was okay. So now, so this will be fun to talk about.
Yeah, it's it is rough. We had a comment on our last video. The guy's like, I used to hate the new Trek, but I was like an original series. Die Hard.
Super fan, yeah.
Yeah, and then the new Trek wasn't doing it for me. But now I've gotten on board and I realize that if you don't like the new Trek, it's because you're probably a racist or a homophobe. And I'm like,
oh, all right, well.
Or it's because it's bad television.
Or it's bad television or not interesting. I mean, there's lots of elements about it that maybe aren't good. Let's just say this. If you don't like new Star Trek because there are LGBTQ characters in it and there aren't very many white dudes, then perhaps you might be a racist.
Perhaps. Yeah.
But if that's the only reason you don't like it, then perhaps. Right. But it's okay to say I don't like it for all those reasons, and I'm not really super loving that element either. It doesn't mean that you are a racist or anti.
Right. Yeah, you can dislike it because the writing is convoluted. The acting is childish and overdramatic. And the fact that it doesn't even follow its own canon. Or my biggest gripe with it, honestly, is that it's not science fiction. I have this theory that it's not science fiction. It's actually just fantasy in space.
We should save this for the section about new Trek Petition. Yeah.
All right, we'll save that.
That way we can talk, because we do have a few things to say, not that you haven't heard it before, but...
No, you've heard it 100 times. Let's talk about Marisa Tomei and her undying love for Pete Davidson.
Well, what's hilarious is I saw this pop up, and here was the headline. This is to give you guys context. The headline was, Marisa Tomei says she recently reached out to her co-star Pete Davidson after realizing she was never paid for the King of Staten Island. And so when I saw that, I went, oh man, Marisa Tomei as well. She's like hot on Pete Davidson. I said, wouldn't that be a joke if that was the case? Because that's not what this story's about. And then you get to the end of the story and you find out that's exactly what it's about. So, believe it or not, I don't know what's going on with this Pete Davidson guy, but she essentially uses the excuse that she reached out to him because she didn't get paid for being in the King of Staten Island, and she wanted to find out if he did get paid. I don't know why this is news. The only reason it's news for us is at the very end of it, she says here, Let me go ahead and I'll go ahead and just give you what she says.
Right.
So she's doing this interview. When Martaccio, I guess that's the person who interviewed her, asked Tomei if she understood the whole Pete Davidson thing, alluding to his track record of dating some of Hollywood's most famous women, including Ariana Grande, Kate Beckinsale, and most recently Kim Kardashian. Tomei responded in the affirmative. And listen, you got to remember, in this movie, The King of Staten Island, she plays his mom in this movie. Okay. So she says here, he's just so effing real, and he's unfiltered but very sensitive. So he's almost an irresistible combination, she answered.
What are you talking about?
Wait,
Jesus.
she added, and he's good looking, even though I played, let's just put the mom thing aside. Let's like never mention that again.
Oh, God.
Which means she has the hots for Pete Davidson.
Yeah. Does everyone here know what a crossroads demon is? A crossroads
if you're a
demon.
Supernatural fan, you do.
All right. If you're a Supernatural fan, okay. Or maybe you've never seen Supernatural, but you understand like Western folk mythology.
Oh, maybe we just took a class in Western folk mythology.
I mean, it's possible, bro. Who knows? But crossroads demon in medieval folklore, then later on in Western mythology, you can go to the crossroads, like where two roads are intersecting.
Okay.
And you can put something in a box that means a lot to you, something that has great sentimental value. You can put that in the box, and you can do some kind of incantation, and you can summon either the devil or a crossroads demon.
Okay. So you get your choice, or do they just randomly show up?
Well, I mean, the lore is all over the place. Like if you go to music, it was the devil.
Okay.
Right, Georgia.
Like the devil went down to Georgia.
Yeah, devil went down to Georgia. Okay. But if you go farther than that, it was a demon, and most recently, it's the demon. The character Foss describes a demon. Okay, so, but here's the deal. When you do that, you can then sell your soul to the demon, right? Who is buying it on behalf of the devil.
All right. So he's got a middleman. Oh my gosh, the devil now has a middleman.
All right, it's a crossroads demon, and you can give, and he will give you anything you want. But here's the catch.
Okay.
In 10 years, time's up, and you got to make your payment, and your payment is your soul.
Your soul. So you get 10 years. You don't get your whole life, just 10 years.
Just you got 10 years. Yeah, but for 10 years, you can literally do whatever you want. So some people go, oh, well, look at these amazing musicians who rocked the world for a decade and then just disappeared, right?
Tom Cruise. Wait, no, he's longer than a decade. Okay.
No, he sold his soul to whatever god they serve in Scientology.
In this Church of Scientology.
Right.
It's an alien, by the way.
What's that guy's name? It's like, it's a weird.
L. Ron Hubbard?
L. Ron Hubbard, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a theory that Pete Davidson sold his soul to the devil via a crossroads demon. And
100%.
he's got 10 years.
100%.
Because it makes no sense that this dude...
it don't make no sense, man. When you hear his story, it literally makes no sense. I wanted to do like a video. I am so obsessed with Pete Davidson right now. I wanted to do a video about it, and Brian wouldn't let me. But I got to tell you, it's ridiculous. Like, hey, you want to be on Saturday Night Live? No, not really. Okay, you're on Saturday Night Live. Whatever. He's got this whole like, right? He was like in a bit part in a movie, and they're like, the guy who plays really talented Bill Hadsberg. He said, "Hey, this guy would be great on SNL," and so he came in. He really did nothing, and then they got him on SNL, and now he doesn't do anything on SNL. Like he literally doesn't act, right? But he gets like he's like the I don't know. It's it's a mystery to me.
So this guy right this
average looking dude who's not really funny.
This guy right here.
Look at this picture next to Jeff Bezos. He looks dead.
He looks like he looks like he's been like that. He's just like crazy methed out. So he has very little talent. He's not very funny. He's average looking. If anything, he looks like he's strung out most of the time. But this guy is pulling, and I hate to be so blunt, but he's pulling some of the most attractive, most coveted women in Hollywood right now. And he has some of the best jobs. He's getting paid to do nothing on so many movies and TV shows.
Well, maybe that's, yeah. So my take is this. Like, I love your Crossroads demon thing. But if you're not into mythology, or you don't believe in, maybe you don't have a religion thing going on.
Look at this guy.
This is what I will tell you.
What is wrong with this picture?
So
many things.
The video that I wanted to do was basically Pete Davidson is the poster child for what's wrong with today's society. Right? That was what the video idea was. Pete Davidson is what's wrong. What did she say here? He's so effing real. He's unfiltered, but very sensitive. So you've got this whole, like, he's figured out that he doesn't care about anything, right? Says exactly what he thinks and just doesn't care he's basically an old school bad guy. Right? What did you call him?
Yeah, and now he's going into space with Bezos?
Well, it doesn't surprise me, bro.
Okay, so here's the deal. He started on SNL in 2014.
Yeah.
So if this guy is dead by 2024,
he's got 2 more years to go.
If he's gone by 2024, remember this video. If he's gone by 2024, right? Mm-hmm. I was right.
Okay.
So Pete, run like your 10 years are up, my dude.
And I just would like to note that Marisa Tomei is 57 years old.
I mean, she's gorgeous still. Who cares?
I mean, but she is, she was the, whatever, the Ariana Grande of her time, I guess. Kim Kardashian of her time, kind of.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because this guy sways no age. These women are just crazy about him.
Yeah. Jeremy said that Pete Davidson is the poster child of a methadone clinic.
Yes. Yeah. For whatever reason, people are locked. I asked one of the young people that kind of works with us sometimes, and I asked her, I'm like, do you like Pete Davidson? And she's like, oh yeah, I love Pete Davidson. And I'm like, oh, please tell me why. And she's like, I don't know why. And I was like, oh, you don't know why you like? She goes, because he's just cool. And
he's got like, 2 years. 2 more years.
2 years. So that's it. Marisa Tomei, line her up. She's out there if you want her, Pete. She's waiting for
you got 2 more years to do what you got to do, man, because after that, the hellhounds are coming.
The hellhounds are coming.
Hellhounds are coming.
So that was our little warm-up story. I just wanted to... I was right. I'm starting to read. I'm like, please, Marisa Tomei, don't fall in love with Pete Davidson. And I read the end of the story, and she's, of course, fallen in love with Pete Davidson.
I just think it's hilarious that you're reading, like, news articles from, like, Yahoo News Lifestyle.
I do believe that Kanye West is going to kill Pete Davidson. So it's going to look like when he goes away with the demon. So what's going to happen is in 2024 he's going to die.
Cutting his head off.
And Kanye West is going to go to jail. Like, that's what's going to happen if you keep messing around with a Kardashian girl.
Kanye West seen outside Pete Davidson's house. Next thing you know, Pete Davidson is in 15 pieces. And Kanye West's like, I didn't do anything. I was just stalking him. I'm telling you, man, a giant demon showed up and just cut him up.
No, I'm just holding the head. I was going to show Kim, let her know we're back together.
Oh, man. Kanye, man. That's rough.
Something else.
Good musician, though.
Yeah, true.
Amazing music.
If you like that kind of music, yeah. So Jeremy says he's got a rant on Discovery in our Discord channel that I have not read yet. So listen, if you guys want to hear Jeremy's rant, go to our Discord channel.
It's good stuff.
Of course, we have no idea how to get there, but how do you get to our Discord?
Yeah, right here. Right there.
That's it?
That's
Discord.io/Popcast.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Go check it out. Let's see what Jeremy had to say. We're not going to do it right now, but we'll look at it later.
Boop, 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 boop. I'm just going to flash it on the screen. Go there now before it's gone.
And if you want to preemptively get your member section thing going, we'll be talking about that later. So
we will be. Okay. All right. Let's talk about the Star Trek Picard.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I watched it. You know what's weird? I got home at 10 o'clock last night, 10:30, and I fell asleep. And then I woke up at 2:30 in the morning. My son was having a terrible nightmare, and I could not go back to sleep. And I'm looking at my phone, and I'm seeing like Picard pop off. And I'm like, oh, crap, it came out, right?
Can I guess what your son's nightmare was?
Tell me.
The Discovery ship is in the first season of Picard.
No, that would have given me a nightmare.
They're using the Fordron. Oh my God.
That would have given me the nightmare. No, he would have. That's all I needed to see. I would have never slept again.
Picard's mother. I don't understand.
Yeah, so then I'm like, oh, I can't fall back asleep, so I just popped it on, and I ended up watching it, and I was like, okay, so, I mean, to give you guys my first take on it, I liked it. I was very happy with the first episode of the second season.
Yeah, I'm happy they didn't completely blow our theory out of the water yet. I like that.
Well, I don't think that they've even remotely blown it out of the water.
No.
I mean, it was kind of funny because the thing that got me to watch it was Gary's tweet from Nerdrotic, and Gary said, "Oh, Picard finally falls in love at 97 years old," or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I was just too tired to respond. I was going to respond to him, but Gary, he always almost falls in love. He doesn't actually fall in love, which is exactly what's happening here with Lara so far. Yeah, you know, he gets close and then he can't commit. That's typical Picard. So at least they stayed true to the actor and to his character.
And to be fair, Lara is a good-looking lady. What's the problem?
It's the ears, bro.
Yeah,
you got an elf. You got an elf thing going on.
Yeah, I like elves and I like green skin chicks. Orions and Vulcans. Yeah, I mean, I grew up watching Orions and Vulcans, so
she's a Romulan.
Close enough. It's like a spicy Vulcan, right?
A Romulan is a spicy Vulcan?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
A Romulan is a spicy Vulcan.
A Romulan
it's like
is
the Hispanics of the Vulcans.
Yeah, and they got her hair going behind her ear, kind of, a little long. Yeah, they definitely tried to cute her up, I think.
Yeah, she looks nice.
And not to mention, she's probably, well, I guess she's Romulan, so she lives longer, but she looks like she's 50 years younger than Picard.
Let's talk about that real quick, because
okay,
they felt the need to explain why Guinan looked so much older.
It's okay. I mean, it was okay.
They didn't have to explain, though. Like, they really didn't have to explain.
Well, they kind of did.
Why? Like, they could have just said that she's gained, like, who cares? She gained a little weight. She barely looks different.
She looks a lot older, bro. I mean, I know she's African American, so she gets more blessing in that age category the way you look. But when you go back and look at her in the episodes that she was in for Next Generation, where she was back in the 1800s, and then you look at Guinan at that time in 20 whatever the year was, the age difference was not crazy. But if you look, then now you go from TNG to this. I mean, she looks way older.
Yeah, but it also messes with the lore. Like, she chose to age.
Well, see, that was a little weird. If you say Elorians can choose whether or not they age, that was a little weird. Yeah. But it also adds to the mystique of the Elorians and why Q and her don't get along, Yeah. It's just one more thing that the Elorians can do. So it didn't bother me that much. I mean, it was an obvious, plot device. But also, the thing they did with Q. He was young. You see how they underaged him?
I like that, though.
That
was cool.
They kind of did the same thing. They didn't need to do it, but they did it.
No, but Q can do that.
But we don't know what she can and can't do because we don't know a lot about Elorians.
So I did like that moment when we saw young Q. I was like, "Oh, hell yeah!"
Okay.
And he's like, "Oh, I see you've aged a little bit. Let me catch up." And he's like, "Snap!" And I'm like, "Oh, that was great. Cool. I like that." Cool.
But they had to explain Guinan looking so different. I mean, they didn't have to. I guess we would have just believed it, but I don't think it's wrong that they tried to explain it a little bit, or because other people might have been like, and this is the problem with the fandom today in a lot of ways. They might have been like, oh, so what's the explanation? Why does Guinan look so old? They didn't even say anything about it. What's wrong with these guys? Yeah. New Trek sucks. So you never... New Trek sucks. It sucks. But you never know if and hopefully they're doing it because it's the right thing to do and not because they're afraid of what fans are going to say or not say. But you never know.
There's There was like 50 people when the show first came out on Twitter. I'm watching Picard and I'm so angry. Like,
I'm watching Picard so that I can be mad
it's
about
the first episode. Relax.
Hey, listen, if you want to be mad about season 1 and the fact that there was a whole bunch of not good stuff in season 1, go ahead.
That's fair. Yeah.
That's fair. But we got to give season 2 a shot here because they are giving us... we just got to... I don't know. That's the way we look at things. We don't automatically cancel it because it's coming back. We're going to give it a shot. Now, if you're like Discovery...
and you're on season 4, and it's been 4 seasons of garbage. We've given up on that. So
you don't have we don't expect Discovery to make a big turnaround, but we can hope that season 2 and 3 of Picard can close out. Okay,
Discovery
better.
Discovery's making a turnaround time. They're 1,000 years in the future.
You had me at the whole spore drive into Picard. That's how they get back to the past or something. I'm like, I can't do it. But some really great things happened in the episode. And if you guys haven't seen the first episode of Picard, you may want to just be careful. We are going to give some spoilers here.
Yeah.
So you may want to pause it, go watch it, and then come pick us up here shortly.
And now that you're back, the Borg Queen is apparently Picard's mom. So,
dude, don't say that.
I told my wife, I was like, if the Borg Queen ends up being Picard's mom, I quit.
Oh no, I quit too. If the Borg Queen is Picard's mom, I quit. Yeah. But it's too even, and I hate to say this, even they couldn't do that.
Right.
Like now, and we do have to say, guys, listen. I know everybody who's watching this that hates New Trek. And by the way, New Trek isn't as good as Old Trek. That's just the way that is. But remember, there are 2 different writing rooms. It isn't the same people writing on Picard that's writing for Discovery.
Right. And that was evident in season 1. Like, they definitely tried to throw a lot more member berries in Picard.
Yeah, and they will still do that, I think. And Strange New Worlds is going to be a member berries thing too. But it's different writers, and the show is definitely, you can tell it's written differently. If they just remove a bunch of the plot devices and make things make sense, like they're going to have to figure out how to make time travel make sense. Which they might have already messed it up. So
there was this when I was making our last video, there was this moment where you explained like the Romulan time travel thing. Mm-hmm. And you guys, so Shane will write these things, and I don't always see them until like I'm actually like gonna edit them, and or after we record the script, I'm like, what was that about? I don't actually read the script, right?
Right.
But there was this moment where he breaks down why time travel makes sense.
We had a good laugh about that one.
Yeah. Watch this real quick.
Where's the line? Yeah.
It's so funny. Here we go. I'm gonna show it for you guys.
Stronger after not decimating its population.
Where's it at?
How did the Romulans time travel?
Here we go.
Easier than you realize. Remember the episode of Deep Space Nine we were talking about earlier? The reason Sisko could time travel at all is because a Romulan cloaking device caused chronotons to build up on the Defiant's hull, resulting in time travel. So because Romulan warbirds run on artificial quantum singularity drives, and quantum singularities frequently result in time travel, it's something that can totally be explained.
Wait, what did you just say?
Oh, damn time travel.
So the
it's true though, because it's like, all right.
I was trying to find like an appropriate response to your ridiculous statement that, well, because they run on singularity drives, and singularity drives make chronoton damage, they often result in time travel. Time makes sense. Like, what the hell? And I found that shot of Adam Devine. It was like, in time travel.
Right. No, that really worked out well. And I think it's funny because it's hard to explain time travel. If you guys haven't seen that video, you need to go look at it, because there is a moment where we're writing it, and I got to tell you, the in-depth that we looked into Picard season 2 and the stuff we found, and a lot of people comment and they're like, where did you guys get some of this footage? We haven't seen this yet. We really went deep to get it. And this theory is a really good one. I don't know if that's what's going to happen because, you know,
It's this
they kind of
video,
messed up a
guys.
couple things.
It's the video. It's the latest video. Go check it out.
Right. And it's, what did we say it was? It was Romulans create mirror universe.
Yeah.
We won't spoil that for you.
Which
But
I felt that title was a little weird, but like then you were like, oh, it makes sense. Like it's not the mirror universe, it's a mirror universe. Which makes
right.
sense.
We didn't say the mirror universe. And I think the reason why it works so well, we'll give you guys a little sneak peek here and just say that the showrunner, Terry Matalas, who's on Picard, was also a producer on Enterprise.
Right. On the mirror universe episodes.
He worked on both Mirror Universe episodes plus the World War III episodes right after that. So Inner Mirror Darkly 1 and 2 and the other, and he was completely involved in. So if you remember when we see, and I love that they brought back Star Trek First Contact, they brought back Cochrane, the same actor who played him, to play in that little piece, because when they basically take down the Vulcans instead of befriend them, and you get the mirror universe. There are ties to that in this Picard series.
Right.
Not specifically that, which is why it has created an element of a mirror universe. When you see Picard look at himself, a younger version of himself in that painting, where he's got like the hair and the bald on top, which was a totally different look for him. Or, you know, and he looks, you can just tell he's like, wow, that's not me. You know, that looked like a much more harder, you know, pain in the butt Picard, did it not?
Yeah, well, yeah, no, it did. I love also the synthetic assistant. That was sort of cool looking. And I recognize that actor from somewhere.
So my question about that synthetic was, and now, of course, we're in a different time. Maybe we should go back before we talk about that. Can we start at the beginning and just kind of outline?
Yeah.
So at the beginning of this show, you get the commercial for Picard 1. Actually, the beginning, you get the Stargazer and what we thought was maybe a dream sequence when we did our thing.
Yeah, and I'm still not. I'm not. It's obviously they don't blow up, right?
No, because the time change happens when it gets to 0. So I wonder if the self-destruct in coordination with the Borg is what does it. No, because the Borg Queen knows what's about to happen before. So anyways, we'll get into that. But anyways, so it basically starts out where we're doing this Chateau Picard commercial, where he looks really happy.
Chateau Picard.
We're totally gonna do that
150 years
commercial.
of greatness. Yeah, we're gonna make a Chateau Picard commercial.
100% gonna happen. So you know he's obviously he's hanging out. He's having a great time with Picard at the winery. They've made their latest run. It's done, and now he's like chilling with Laris. And they have this there's this moment of Laris wants more, and Picard can't give her more.
Right.
And they're talking about, you know, whether he's happy or not happy. And then we have this flashback of him as a child when they first move out to the vineyard from Paris.
I'm sorry, real quick. How do you feel about them transporting the grapes?
That's the way I do it in the future.
Yeah, but aren't they just copies now of the grapes?
I mean, I guess if it's a copy of that specific grape, that's okay. I mean, are you a copy of yourself when you're?
I don't know. There's a whole
You know what I'm
conversation
saying?
there. I don't know.
I don't even like to think that, because if that's the case, I mean, it's supposed to break down your molecules and put them back together, right? So technically, it should be the same grape.
I wouldn't want grapes that were sent to the transporter. I don't know why.
Well, but you noticed they had that, but they also had the things flying around. What were they doing?
Yeah, they were the ones. The robots were the ones transporting the grapes.
They were transporting the grapes. Okay, that's a definitely much easier way to make wine in the future. Heads up.
Yeah.
Don't got to pick them anymore.
Yeah, I feel like there's a weird rustic thing going here where it's like it looks like an old wine field, but then they got all the tech surrounding it, which is sort of fine, I guess.
Yeah. No, I thought it was really good, really interesting. He looks super happy. And then Laris hits him up with this love thing. And you're right. Yeah, she's got the fetching look going there. She got the Deanna Troi hair. You notice that?
Yeah, she does.
You know, and of course we know Picard had his run-in with the bad girl architect, the thief, and of course Beverly Crusher. He had his romances, right? And this is just another place in his life. And if you listen to Picard talk, he's kind of like, that's over for me. Of course, Guinan's telling him, no, it's not, but okay. And then you get this flashback of basically when they arrive at the vineyard and he's with his mom, or he's in the atrium where the little rose glass. Yeah, there you go.
Right.
And his mom comes in and he has this vision of her basically being like drug out by what looks like by like your Crossroads demon. Did you see that shot where she's like being drug across the floor by her feet?
Yeah,
like,
I did.
I was like, man, that was pretty violent.
Yeah, because it was the Borg assimilating his mom.
No, dude, please. Okay, I'm gonna let you play your little theory out, but I swear to you, if that is the case, this will be done.
Yeah, we quit.
I swear to you, I won't.
We're
watch
done.
it.
I'm just saying, bro. What if they went back in time? And oh my god! What if the change to the timeline was his childhood? They assimilated his mom and made him all super warlike.
Okay, I mean, no. Okay. No, because he's having that memory before time has changed. He's having that memory before the change.
Okay.
No, that's not possible. Okay, we can talk about that, but there's no way. Okay, let's just go through it real quick, and then we can talk about your fear. Okay. So basically, what's described is his mom, and in that moment, I don't think that's what it is, because he's basically saying, "Are you guys going to keep fighting?" As the child Picard says.
Are you gonna keep fighting, Mama?
Are you going to keep fighting? And his mom looks all uncomfortable, and she's like, basically this, that. So basically what's happening here is Picard's dad is a big jerk, a big wife beater, is what we're finding out. And apparently this is the reason why Picard ended up going to the stars, because his mom said, look up or whatever.
Look up.
And
Picard.
so he ended up in Starfleet and all that stuff because sort of he's running away from... He doesn't want to be in relationships because his dad beat up his mom, and I don't know if he's afraid like maybe he's going to beat up women or something. I'm not sure.
Right.
Or he doesn't see relationships as being something that can be successful because of his childhood. Okay, listen. Many of us have had those kind of experiences growing up, so I get that, and I'm not bothered by the fact that they threw that into his backstory. Other than the fact that I'm not sure it was necessary to make it that. I don't know. It seemed a little bit harsh to me.
It wasn't necessary.
It wasn't necessary, but they wanted to really give a real good reason why he went to Starfleet. Yeah. And the fact that he could be running from something. And I guess if you need him to be running from something, it's got to be something pretty specific. And if you go back to the episode where his brother is in charge of the vineyard and he's there and he sees his nephew, we get that whole time frame with him, where he's visiting. There's this rift between the two, and it's because Picard left, basically, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it does kind of line up, and now that I've been given some hours to kind of think about it, I think I'm kind of okay with it. We know nothing about Picard's parents. So if his dad wasn't cool or was, mean to his mom, I mean, it seems kind of weird that in the future... because that his past is our future, or the future, that we would still have these kind of crazy situations, but in a more elevated society. But okay. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So what did you think of that and in that whole part of it?
Well, it didn't... It was just sort of boring, to be honest.
It was boring to you, really?
Yeah, the whole part with his mom and...
I mean, you didn't think...
Picard,
you didn't like getting some Picard backstory?
I mean, if it applies to this current story, but now watching the whole thing, I hope it doesn't. So
interesting. Okay. All right. So then he basically, he makes Laris angry, right? And he can't commit to her.
Explain. Oh, so that's why she was mad, because he couldn't commit?
Yeah, because he kind of leans in to kiss her, and they're about to have this moment, but he just can't. He can't commit.
Seal the deal, Jean-Luc. Come on, man.
Right. He doesn't know if he wants to, settle down.
I don't know what I want to do.
So then
I'm 97. I'm still on the fence. Give me more time.
So then he's, of course, he's at Starfleet, and they've got, like, I don't know, the graduating class or whatever, which can't be the graduating class to me, because I was thinking about it. I'm like, how many years is somebody in Starfleet Academy?
Yeah, I don't know.
2, 4? Because it's only been a year since Elnor had nothing to do with the Academy.
Well, maybe, are you sure it hasn't? Maybe it's been more than that. Because
I guess we don't know how long it's been.
Because Romulan Laris's husband is dead.
That's true.
How did he die?
I guess we don't know how long it has been. Let's see if we can see somewhere. Maybe somebody else has it here.
I bet you it's been longer than a year, because, I mean, like, and the fact that they killed off her husband like that, like, no big deal, is a little weird. I get it. You wanted to make.
Well, they had to. Well, she explained it. Remember, we love even stronger the second time, which I thought was kind of interesting. I'm like, that's the one problem I have with Picard writers. They tend to write things. It's like they did with the Whoopi thing with her age. They put these. They kind of write things in that aren't necessary. Like, they want to make sure you believe, instead of just letting you, like, make the connection yourself. They want to hold your hand to the thought.
Yeah.
And she had to say, basically, in case they do fall in love, that their love would be greater than her previous love with her husband.
Right.
Even though she loved him.
So unnecessary.
It just wasn't necessary. Right.
Right.
Okay, so here's the Picard Season 2 timeline. It says here, Picard Season 1 occurred in 2399. That means Zaban, who is her husband, died in 2400. And now we're in the fall of 2401.
That's only been a year?
So how did Elnor get through Starfleet so quick? Or maybe he's not graduating, because it did say cadet. Right?
Maybe he did like the first. Maybe he's doing like that one, like the year abroad thing where he has to go on a ship as a cadet.
Yeah, maybe that's it. So I'm not even sure we need to understand this.
Yeah, it doesn't
but
matter.
for the sake of the lore and the canon, it would be nice to know.
I like the new uniforms.
Yeah, they look great. Did you just see that the Sulu is one of the ships?
Yes, I saw that.
That was cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
They're doing little things like that, which good. The sound effects are very classic. That's the other thing I like about Star Trek. Even in Discovery, they're using proper Star Trek sound effects. The sounds of when somebody's being beamed, the sounds in the medical bays. It's the proper TOS sound.
Right, yeah. It's not yet that was actually a problem with the Discovery. They changed it so much that it became foreign.
Right,
and it's like, so, is this a Star Wars show with the Star Trek logo? Like, what's going on?
Right, and the other thing we have to talk about in this one is you're looking at what's her name, Girardi there, and when she was on the Stargazer, she pulls up a invisible panel in front of her, so it's, and she starts operating on it in air. You remember that?
Yeah.
When she's like trying to figure out what the Borg are saying.
Yeah, like
or
a holographic panel.
Yes. Now, when did that become like standard operating procedure?
During Discovery.
So, okay, that's right. But not in TOS, TNG, not, I mean, of course,
No,
so,
none of those.
I guess what they're saying, it had to have become, in canon wise, it would had to have, well, Discovery in the future, 1,000 years in the future. Yes. Right?
Sure.
Okay.
Here's a similar screen right here at Picard's house.
So what I'm saying, though, is from the time that Voyager is over till now, this technology apparently happened.
Yeah, which is
right.
Fine. It's fine, I guess. Yeah.
No, I'm okay with that. I want to know where I'm at. If you're going to introduce new technology, I want it to be part of canon, and I want to know when. I want to kind of have an idea.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
This started technically during Discovery, though.
Well, but no, it did not.
Yeah,
it did not start in Discovery's timeline before they went into the future.
Yeah, they're doing the whole holographic thing. Everything was holographic.
They did the stupid hologram, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't have these screens. What you're looking at right there. They did not have that in the first 2 seasons of Discovery.
That's true.
Okay, so I just want to be clear that they haven't messed with canon in some way again.
Oh, I don't think so. Well, I mean, it doesn't. Picard wouldn't be messing with canon. Picard's not happening before anything, so.
Right, but still, we haven't seen this, so it's important. I guess what I'm trying to say is, this is the first time in the timeline that we're seeing this.
Yeah.
Can I get a little more excitement from you, bro?
I mean, I don't know for sure. I think
It
so,
is.
yes.
It is. I don't remember it from any of the movies. It wasn't in TNG. It wasn't in Voyager. Right?
Right.
So this is the first time we're seeing this.
Yeah, the problem is I've been seeing this on Discovery for the last 2 seasons, so it wasn't very exciting to me.
But it's the future. That was 1,000, right?
Sure, right.
Okay, so in the big timeline of things, this is okay.
Yeah, okay.
And it was new.
It was new, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I love how Guinan's bar is called 10.
10 forward. That's 10 forward. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
He went there a little earlier than I thought he was going to.
He did. Way earlier.
Yeah. And the fact that he's talking to her about
his love life.
I mean, this stuff was kind of boring. I mean, she knew he was there before she saw him. Did you see how she ordered the Earl Grey tea hot?
Earl Grey piping hot.
Yeah, before he made himself. So she knew he was there. Which is good because that's Guinan.
Right.
And then they're talking about, a lot of the key words we used in the trailer to come up with theories were not the same words. So, like, she said things like the voyage yet, I don't know what she said, but the journey yet traveled, or she's talking basically about his love life and not going back to the stars, right?
Right.
So did we learn anything from that? Not really. He goes back. He gets. We find out that Captain Rios is now the captain of the Stargazer, which we knew from our video.
And I love that he's constantly smoking a cigar. That's the coolest.
I'm down with that. Yeah, no, we need more characters that just chew on cigars all day.
Absolutely.
They found this place in space where they mentioned tachyon, so immediately you're like, oh, okay, something time travel-y is happening here. But this
are tachyons real, by the way? Is that something that we always... Because, like, every single science fiction show talks about tachyons.
Well, since time travel is not real.
And chronoton. I know chronotons aren't real, but I think tachyons...
No, they made up that word, totally.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Tachyons are a theoretical particle.
Yeah, so a tachyon is an actual, like, particle.
It's a hypothetical particle.
Right. But every single science fiction show, literally every one...
Why, yeah.
Uses tachyons to talk about time travel.
Yeah, I mean, when you go to the science people, and this is what we love about Star Trek, you go to the science people and they're like, hey, it's time travel possible. He's like, well, we've made up this word called a tachyon, which we think might be a hypothetical particle that has something to do with time. So then they just use it and everything. But so, of course, they mention the tachyons, and immediately you're like, okay. And then, of course,
all right.
So Jurati, who I didn't even know what her specialty was. Why did I think she was some sort of medical thing? I guess she's an engineer.
She built the synths.
She built the synth, right? Okay, so she's an engineer, but she's also a language decoder?
And she's also a medical doctor.
And a medical doctor. So I thought that was a little weird that
she has
Jurati
too many jobs.
She got too many jobs. She's up on the bridge, and she basically goes and takes the job away from the other Uhura type person. What would you call it? The communications officer?
Yeah, whatever.
And then says, oh, it's better just to let her. That's kind of weird. I don't like the character of Jurati anyways from the first season. So she's going to really have to come a long ways to make me like her this year.
Yeah, so it's so weird to me that, like, the captain calls someone who's not on his crew to come, like, help with something. Is she part of his crew?
No. Excuse me. Yeah, she is part of his crew somehow. Yeah, because she left and she basically left the synthetic girl behind. Remember?
Right.
They're on that planet, and that guy's coming onto her, and she's acting all weird.
Right. But
talking about how she murdered somebody.
Did he need her help, or is she part of his crew?
Well, he said he needed her help, but I believe the Stargazer was probably like taking her. I'm not sure.
Because she's not calling him captain. She's very casual. She doesn't have any uniform on.
I'm not even sure she's really part of Starfleet.
I don't know either. And then she had that throwaway line where she was like, I was cleared of my like murder charges or whatever.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was that alien was coming on to her or whatever. Or
right.
with her.
I guess that's fine to explain why she's not in the brig right now.
You know, I thought that was good. I kind of needed to hear, you know, they gave her temporary insanity, but the fact that she comes on and kind of takes over, I didn't feel like she was that brilliant, and I felt like most of that she got from creating Picard's body came from not from her, but from, you know, the man she killed who taught her that.
Her lover / boss.
Yeah, she's not like the brain behind this. She just was able to work on it.
Right. So
that was kind of weird.
Yeah, so she was a medical doctor. So she took the role of a medical doctor in season 1, but she was also like someone who worked on like the androids. And now she's a vocal person. So they're putting they're merging a lot of sciences into this one person, which might be a little bit of a mistake.
Right. Yeah, it's a little bit of a overkill, and maybe they realize, hey, we got to make Girardi's character likable. But the problem is that kind of, to me, makes her a little unlikable. Like the fact that she's kind of a jerk.
Yeah, she reminds me of Burnham a little bit.
Kind of, yeah. And even I don't even think Burnham's that jerkish. You know, to basically go over and say, "You mind?" You know, and then take over that girl's. But anyway, so the voices come through, and basically what we're saying is they're calling for Picard, and you can kind of tell. I'm like, isn't that the Borg?
Sound like the Borg to me.
They didn't know it was the Borg, right?
Yeah, it sounded like the Borg like immediately, and then when Picard was on the bridge too, and it was like, we are. I'm like,
yeah,
it's the Borg. We are the Borg. That's what they're saying.
But before Picard even shows up, you can tell like Picard, and it's like in this
Picard.
It's like you kind of knew. You're like, that's the Borg, right?
Let me tell you something. If I was as traumatized as Jean-Luc Picard is, and I heard those words at my chateau, I'd be like, that's the Borg. Blow out of space and call it a day.
He should have known right away that was the Borg.
Right away. How many people did this go through? At the very least, when it got to him, he would have been like, oh, that's the Borg.
Right.
Yeah. And it actually annoyed me a little bit, to be honest. It annoyed me that Seven was like, no. We do not entertain these people. Destroy them. You know, like make a parking lot and walk away. This is the Borg.
Yeah.
These are the Borg, Picard. What are you trying to do here?
Well, her and Rios are the ones reacting properly.
Yeah, appropriately.
And the fact that she's there at all, there's absolutely no reason for her to be.
Well, she was fighting with somebody in the Fenris Rangers. Oh, I like the idea that her crewmate is a hologram. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, well, and it's a continuation of the Rios holograms from last episode, and now she's merged them all into one.
Yes, and I love that. I love that.
That was cool.
Look, I love the idea of the holographic crew because I felt like it was sort of a callback from the Voyager time. So,
and also she did the whole she took the safeties off, you know, and put them back on so that it could interact and help her. I thought that was cool. That was actually a really good scene.
That was a great scene. That was a phenomenal
can we
scene.
also say real quick that having 7 of 9 in this show is really good for the show?
Yes.
You know, I mean, that's like one of the things about Picard that's really good. Having her character in this is just, I would say, 50% of the reason why I like it so much.
Yeah, I know it's called Star Trek Picard, but it should be called Star Trek Picard and 7 and 9.
Yeah, because she gives that Star Trek weight. It's hard to explain. Like, she really gives it authenticity.
Right. Well, so she goes to the whatever it's called, the anomaly.
Yeah.
And so she goes there. I guess she was close and she was curious, and she runs into Rios.
Right. So they're mostly all together because of this. And so the Borg, basically the Borg queen, they say, hey, we're going to send over our queen to negotiate. And Rios is like, no,
nah,
not
bro.
coming on board the ship.
You ain't coming on board the ship, dude.
No. She's not, and she can't because I got these shields on. But apparently, when the Borg vessel comes through, it's not a cube. It's not a
but it was still a
sphere.
shape. It was still a shape.
It was a weird shape, though.
Yeah, but it is a shape, and I can't remember exactly what the shape is called.
What? It's the shape of like the alien creature from Alien.
No. It's an actual shape, though. It's a very.
I guess maybe I didn't see it very well. Do you have a shot of it there? We can look at.
Yeah.
Well, because it looked to me like a giant vessel, not really a specific shape.
Oh, yeah, where is it?
You know, so they beam her
I
over.
love the Borg Queen aesthetics, by the way.
I'm not sure why she looks like that, but okay. I'm okay with it.
Oh, and there was a shot when she was like shooting the crew. They were like, she's stunning them. She's not killing them.
That was good. That Seven's the one who said that.
Right. So she wasn't killing the crewmates, which is
right. Which is important.
Yeah, something is off, but that's a very important thing to remember is that she wasn't killing the crew. She was stunning them. Because why would she be going on? I'm sorry, what?
Well, a pessimistic person might say she's only stunning them so that they can assimilate them. You know.
I mean, I guess.
That's not why. It's obvious that her motives and the way they've written this up is that her motives, because she said peace, right?
Right.
They want peace. That's what they said. But 7 of 9 keeps saying, hey, you know, this could be subterfuge.
Well, yeah. So they failed every other version of taking over the Federation. So what if the next version is subterfuge, you know?
Well, and here's the other thing is what's saying that this version, and because it's coming through this anomaly, I mean, that sends off red flags of they're not from this time. In my opinion.
Stupid shot.
Okay, there's tachyons involved. And it's obvious that these Borg are probably not from our current time.
Or dimension.
Well, I would say dimension. Or you're saying maybe from another universe?
Yeah. What if it's another universe?
I guess that's possible. I'll buy that.
What if there's a mirror universe? What if there's an alternate universe, mirror universe, whatever?
I don't like the mirror universes, so I try to not operate in them. So I like to operate.
What if there is where they won?
Then why are they there? What's the point? You know what I mean? Like, what's the motivation?
Isn't that the law of? That's the law of like the unlimited dimension theory. Is like anything that could have happened could create any split decision can create another universe.
Well, that's true. I think what's happened here is the Borg are aware as well that that something has happened, and so they've come here to help fix it in a way, I believe. Although it seems to me like they're the ones almost creating the problem, even though they blame Q later.
I mean, right? Not in the trailer they blame Q.
No, they blamed him in this episode at the end. What did you do? And then he says, you know, Q. Well, I guess the Q changed the past. They said it, but he doesn't know that. I mean, does he know that? Is he guessing? You know what I'm saying? Because it looks to me there's tachyons. The Queen is coming through. She's in a weird suit we've never seen before. She's obviously super advanced. They're able to get.
There's the ship.
What shape is that?
There's a shape that's applied to it. This is the best shot I can find right now, but I got to go through it frame by frame. It's hard I can't actually play the stupid thing without nuking our channel.
No, it's okay. But I'm just saying, to me, that doesn't look like one of our standard square, triangle, hexagon, whatever.
It's not a standard shape.
It's not a standard shape.
It is a shape. I saw a Daystrom post about it recently.
But it's contrary. That's not a shape. I mean, what are those things sticking out? It's not a shape. What is that?
I don't know. We're talking about this too much. We'll have to find it.
I mean, okay, so my point is, no, I think it's important. The point is that this is not what the Borg look like. In everything that we know, from Voyager, from TNG, from movies, whatever, this is not.
There.
That vessel is
I
not.
found a better shot.
Right? That's not what the Borg look like.
Yeah, no, it's not. Which makes me think that they're not. They're either from. They're extremely far in the future.
Okay.
Or a different timeline where they beat the Federation and they don't continue the same cube shape, you know?
I would argue that, okay, my argument would be that they are from the timeline that Picard's about to go into, and the Borg have been beat. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they were beating our timeline too.
Sort of everything that they knew about it. We didn't beat them in the Delta Quadrant. We knew that.
Yeah, we did. We destroyed everything they had. That's when we killed the Queen the first time.
Not 100%. Remember, we weren't sure. They killed the transwarp.
Yeah, right. I mean, but we did some work. At the very least,
we did,
I can say we won, quote unquote. Like it's
Okay.
like it's the same way we won, I guess. The same way United States win in wars, where we just sort of get bored and leave.
Well, yeah. I mean, and it all depends on, will the Borg come back to fight another day? But this is, I mean, everything that we see, tachyons, it's not anything like a Borg vessel we've ever seen before. The Queen can go right through their shielding.
Yeah, not exactly though. They gotta like fire a beam at the shields. Like that's some kind of like tight transporter beam that's so tight that you can actually visibly see it. Before we never saw that before.
But this is something new, is what I'm trying to say.
It's something new. They're tight. They're making the beams so tight it's in the visible spectrum now, and they're shooting it through the shields.
So but I'm saying all this is new, and the reason why it's new isn't because it's a new series. It's because these Borg are new to this, to the expectations of our characters.
Oh my God, bro! They don't have the shields. They're not the weird grid-like shields that we see.
Oh, on the
in Prodigy and Discovery.
no, bro.
And
This is before the times changed.
No, I know. So, but in Prodigy, the show, and in Discovery, the show, and when the time changes, the shields all have that grid look. I'm just realizing now
around the Federation vessels,
right? But I'm just realizing now, this shield looks like the classic shield. What if that explains where Discovery is right now?
Please don't do this. I can't.
What if it does? What if Discovery legitimately isn't in our timeline?
I don't want to talk about Discovery being in because the grids didn't happen until it went to the future.
Right. When they went to the future.
So okay. So where is?
They're in the wrong future, and that would explain Discovery entirely.
No, because What do you mean? No, because Discovery. Oh, so what you're saying is that's not canon because they went into a different universe. So
right. Because their dystopian universe is dumb. Everyone hates it. Imagine using Picard to sort of like explain that.
I mean, you could. You could totally retcon Discovery by doing that.
And you wouldn't be you'd be retconning it, but not removing it entirely.
Yeah, I just don't know if it's necessary. It's so far in the future that I don't think anybody cares.
I hate it so much. I hate the fact that the Federation is just like a shadow of themselves.
In
and
the
that
future?
Earth is completely cut off from everything, and we don't care about anything anymore. It's so dumb.
Yeah, maybe they could do that. I don't think they will. But what about Prodigy? Is Prodigy in a different dimension?
That's making me think that, though.
You know what'll tell us when we watch the future episodes of Picard in the future in the mirror universe? If they're going around on Federation ships and they shoot at them and you see those grids, then maybe that means something.
Right.
Okay.
Because that is not a grid.
That's not. That's more of a traditional shield.
Interesting.
Okay. I'll buy that. But so basically what happens here is Picard has to do the destruction sequence because the Borg Queen not only is taking... She said, I need more power. So she's trying to do something. So that's the signal. She needs more power because you know what she's trying to do? She's trying to basically pull Picard into her realm, I think. Into her alternate reality.
Yeah, they said once she gets to 100%, we won't even be able to self-destruct. And she was and she was taking power or something from all of the ships, the entire Armada, not just that one.
She said, I need power.
Right, and she was like, Picard, we can't give her an entire Armada. And like that's why they were going to self-destruct it. So my theory is that the self-destruct didn't actually happen.
No, it didn't happen. No. She had enough power to do whatever she needed to do because she said Picard, right? And then she said, look up. Right?
I hate that line so much.
Why? Because his mom said it?
Because his mom said it. I hate
But
it.
that doesn't mean it's his mom. He was the cutest. They know his thoughts if it's the same thing. Right?
Yeah, so this would also, by the way, this would also totally fall in line with the theory that Borg queens are created. They're not. They're created when another Borg queen dies. They select a new Borg queen.
We don't know any of that to be the case.
Because we've now killed what, 3 Borg queens, and we got a new Borg queen. So,
well, we also don't know if there is one Borg queen or there's queens per area. You know what I'm saying? We still don't know that.
like Wraith from Stargate.
Yeah. So I mean, all what we do know is if you follow the facts. There's tachyons. There's a new Borg vessel. We have no idea. The Queen is not trying to kill everybody. They want peace. They need more power. She's trying to accomplish something. She gets Picard's attention, says, don't look up. And Picard, when he wakes up, he's back in Chateau Picard in that atrium looking up, and it's a different world.
Yeah, so she shifted everyone.
She shifted everyone. So a warning to everybody, maybe they could change this, but according to what they've told us so far, Q did not change things.
Yeah, it was her.
It was her. It was the Borg. Right? I mean, unless I'm missing something.
Well, what if the Borg sense the change? What if the Borg are hiding out, right? And they're trying to be cool. But they sense the entire universe change because they're in this pocket. Ooh, here's one. Here we go. Popcast profit. Here we go.
Oh my gosh.
The Borg, having been defeated by the Federation, decide to cut their losses, and they are now hiding in a pocket universe. They create the pocket universe, and they're just existing by themselves. But because they're in that pocket universe, and time and changes around them, they are outside our space-time, see the change, open the portal, call in Picard, and they shift everyone. They shift everyone on purpose away from that in some attempt to get the universe back on track. What if they are no longer even a part of our universe, but they're existing in a pocket dimension, hiding out from everyone, doing their own thing, and that's what allows them to see that everything has been changed.
You'd still have to explain the vessel to me, but I will say that the Queen plays an important role throughout this. They need her, so she's part of what's going on as we go forward because she goes with them back into time.
Or a version of her is there.
No, it's this Queen. Well, we don't know if it's this Queen, but we do know a Queen because we see her face and everything.
Right.
So she goes back in time with them. She'll be connected to. She will actually be
There's
connected
a better
to
shot of the
Rios'
ship.
old ship. I mean, it's not. I mean, what do you call that? A 15, 20-sided. What do you, how many sides are there to that shape?
Yeah, I do feel though. Yeah, look at that grid, bro. Look at that grid.
Yeah.
And the synth was like, the solar shields are holding nicely this morning. Like almost like they damaged their planet or something. In this timeline, the planet's been ruined by climate change or something,
Probably. Yeah, I'm sure they'll do that. So, I mean, that's kind of what happens. And then it ends with basically Q coming in and, we get the introduction of Q and now we're going to go off to season 2, and then we'll be off to the races, I think. We'll learn more about this world. We'll learn, I believe, that Picard is probably somehow in charge, right?
I love this. I love it. It looks like I love it. The young Q.
They did a good job. Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Not
it wasn't
bad.
Perfect, but...
When he smiles right here, that looks so much like young Q.
Yeah. I mean, you could tell it was fake, but...
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I love that. New animation looks really cool. Before it was just... Look, guys... I have studied this animation because I have personally created it in our videos.
Yeah.
And it's always literally just a flash. Literally like a starburst at the most basic possible shape, white, and it flashes the entire screen transition. This is a whole new transition here.
Yeah, let's go into the comments real quick here, just because we got through it. Let's see. Got some good comments here. Timo Hoffman, the episode was, in my opinion, the closest to Star Trek Kurtzman Trek ever got. Still a lot of things to improve, but I have to give them credit for the improvements made. I kind of feel that way too. I feel like at least in the very first episode, there weren't really things wrong.
Right.
Are we right there?
Yeah, I didn't see any glaring issues whatsoever.
A little bit of over-explanation, but still nothing to get mad about.
Yeah, and I love the new Borg looks and all that, and that now if that is just the Borg from our normal time frame that we're like chilling out for some reason,
that'll be bad.
That'll be bad because that won't. There'll be too many things there that don't make any sense. Like, how are they so much more advanced all of a sudden? But if they're from an alternate timeline or pocket dimension or whatever nonsense, then that makes sense too.
David Nunya, now they put everyone in Federation uniform. That's right.
That's true. Yeah.
Anyways, I gave it a chance watch. The whole episode looked at the preview. Seems like they are going to 2024. Yeah, no, I don't want to be lectured on current day politics by Picard. Yes, I agree. We don't want to be lectured. And
I'm telling you,
that's super overt. It's going to be bothersome.
The climate change thing, when he said like the solar shields are holding nicely, I'm like,
I'm okay with the climate change thing. I mean, it's obvious that regardless of why our world is getting warmer, there is some of that is carbon dioxide. We are having some effect as human beings on the climate. So I'm okay with that.
Right, but it'd be heavy-handed to have that solar shields in the dystopian version, but not in the actual version, right?
True. Now, if that's the reason, if that's the only reason why, then that would be weird.
Right.
Let's see. I'm done. We'll learn to hear about season 2 from you guys and other YouTubers and tune in if it gets to the 3rd season. Yeah, David, I don't know. I mean, if it keeps going the way it's going, you might want to tune in, man. It might be okay to, may not be so frustrating to watch, but we'll keep you posted for sure.
Simon Peters, that chick is hot and she wants Picard, but Picard has a thing. Yeah, that was my problem. My major issue with this entire episode was
why does she want him?
Laura is fine and she's into Picard, and Picard's like, I don't know, man. Like, what? What do you mean you don't know?
Well, it's kind of always been that way with Picard, right?
Here.
The girls have always been a lot more attractive than he was, I think. You know what? Picard has a Pete Davidson problem, bro.
Oh my God, he's Pete Davidson from the future.
He made a deal with the
deal with the devil.
Let's see.
It's a 2-year time jump.
It was 2 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. 2-year time jump. This is not Star Trek. Orville is my post 2008 Star Trek. Love the Orville. Can't wait to see what happens there. Won't argue with that. Star Trek Picard and the Multiverse of Madness, Jeremy. Kinda, right? God, I hope not. I hate multiverses. So
He said Jeremy Snyder said that in Discord too, like
Did
a couple days ago. Star Trek Picard and the Multiverse of Madness.
I hate him, dude. I really don't like him.
Yeah, I did pose that question in our Discord. Why does everything seemingly have to be like a multiverse nowadays? Like everything, every like big IP is like instead of continuing the story in the universe that made them popular, they were like either they're going back and they're doing prequels, or they're explaining parts of like the past that didn't matter, or they're inventing a new version of it, or a what if version, or this is not the Batman, it's just another Batman. Like, okay, Jesus, why can't we just create stories in the universe that solidified that IP in the first place? It's insane.
Yeah, no, you're right. It seems like
all a discovery.
That's the natural evolution of we don't know what else to write.
Right.
Is that what it is? We just don't know what else to do.
Yeah, we don't know what else to write, so we're just gonna go and we're gonna set our show in the 10 years between Enterprise and this, and like, okay, all right,
I mean, you can do that, and I think it's okay to occupy that space as long as you stick to what the canon that you know.
I know, but why though? Why not just go forward? Because then they have all these problems where they have to live by certain rules now.
I love the idea of just skipping ahead 100 years, which most shows did. From TOS to TNG to or from Enterprise. It was, You know, so when they went back to Enterprise, they went 100 years before TOS.
Right? Which was, that was one of those moments for me where I'm like, I started watching, I'm like,
Yeah,
but
you hate prequels though.
I hate prequels, but I still fell in love with it because there was enough new stuff there to get me on board, and it had stuff to do with the old stuff, and it didn't mess with the current. Although I could say we've never seen, Dr. Phlox's species ever again, which like that was a major issue for me. I remember watching the show and being like, where did this species go to? This awesome species that's part of Starfleet, part of the Federation, serving on a vessel. Where is it?
Well, but then there are so many. I think there are so many aliens that we've never seen in Star Trek. Now the thing is if you go another 100 years after Voyager, Picard, or Voyager TNG to Deep Space Nine, I think the part of the problem is like, what do they do then? Like, what does 100 more years look like in Star Trek? We've now seen 1,000 years into the future, and it's not even that much different than now.
Yeah.
So what do they do with that extra? You know what I'm saying? Like when TOS came out to
they
TNG,
tell stories.
I know, but I'm talking about making it different. So from TOS to TNG, there was 20 years. And TV changed, special effects changed, things changed, right? So it felt like you were going 100 years into the future. If you do that now, the problem is maybe they could have done it if they had started with Discovery. This is the problem. Instead of starting with Discovery and going back, they should have gone 100 years into the future. There had been enough time that the way we make movies and TV shows, that they could have made it seem like we were advanced another 100 years.
Right.
So the mistake that they really made was going backwards.
And they could have also made Star Trek Picard as a coinciding storyline.
Well, or sort of. I mean, it's not even a coinciding storyline, really. I mean, Discovery is not even remotely close to Picard.
Right, that's true. Yeah.
So it's like they could have just gone ahead and done it, but they didn't. And so and if you were to ask Alex Kurtzman now, he would probably tell you, I wish we'd never done Discovery.
Right. Yeah.
Because it was Brian Fuller's idea, and he basically just made it happen.
That's true.
And I don't think he wanted to do it. I think after it got going, like, oh crap, why did we take on something, between TOS or before TOS or between Enterprise and TOS? Why did we do that?
Yeah. Seems like a bad idea in hindsight.
Bad idea.
Yeah. Another thing, though, quick thing before we move on. I found it interesting, and this is not really about Picard, but about the series as a whole. In Discovery, they're looking for an alternative form of travel because dilithium is a problem in the future, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But Romulans used...
I know, yeah.
So what's that, man?
Yeah, they just don't know about it.
You
got people writing the show that don't know.
They have people writing the show.
They don't know.
That are writing this huge plot point that dilithium is like what the entire universe needs, and that they're all looking for an alternative way to power their ships or to travel faster than light, right?
Yeah.
And the spore drive comes along, and now they're trying to replicate that. But the Romulans, 1,200 years prior, were using singularity drives.
Already using the singularity drives, yep.
Didn't require dilithium, so I don't know.
Yeah, and you can time travel with them. Sweet.
Yeah, so the writers legitimately, yeah, by accident, you could be flying along and just time travel,
right? I'm talking about.
So the writers just didn't know about that then.
They just, you know what? They just, they probably go. It gives them a headache to try to go back and figure everything out and then make it fit, and they just don't do Trek like that anymore.
I mean, bro, when you and I write a script, I'll throw an idea out there, and what's your first response? Okay, well, you go back. Let's go find out what Kirk did at that time. Where was he out? Is there any canon about his sister or whatever?
Yeah,
and
that's how it should be written.
Right, and we decide what we have an idea, but we verify that the idea will fit into canon,
Right.
current and established, before we go forward with that idea. And once we go, now we can do this idea. Now, how can we use canon to strengthen this idea? Right?
Yes. Yeah. But that's not what they're doing. They're like, I got an idea. How can we just do what we want to do and not get in trouble with canon? That's kind of the way they do it.
Yeah.
You know, you get your idea, you got to find a way to make it work, and you can't be afraid to just throw it out and be like, well, that's not going to work. How many videos have we not made where we were like, well, that just doesn't work?
There are so many videos that we had ideas for that after looking into it, we're like, we can't. It's not going to work.
There's no connection.
We would be wrong.
Yeah.
Even though it's a cool idea, we'd be wrong. Yeah. You know what's funny is I got distracted. Someone in the writer room was like, guys, here's a problem that we've never faced before. What if the Federation, what if the entire universe couldn't use dilithium? Then there would be no Federation. And that would explain how the Federation being dissolved in the future and all these problems. And you know what we could do? We can make it so that a Kelpian child
Right.
had a tantrum and blew the whole universe up.
That's what's wrong with this. See, they had this great idea. No, you're right. They had a great idea. Let's get rid of dilithium somehow. Something happens in the future that makes dilithium not... That's actually a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Like, wait a second. That's going to make everything... You just threw in the turmoil that you need in your storyline, right?
And dilithium is a huge currency. It's like it's like the most important resource, right?
Yeah.
So it's a great idea. Okay.
So why not have, you probably could have gone back and had dilithium, this is something that was probably, we don't know, is dilithium could have been in like certain areas of the quadrant, in a certain quadrant. And maybe a star went supernova and destroyed all of the dilithium. Right. That would have been a whole lot better than some Kelpian kid. But this is the problem. These writers fall in love with their own crap. And they start writing it like, it'd be cool. It'd be so cool right now. Imagine if we get a Kelpian involved, and we can do some more stuff with one of our main characters and like get into his like feelings and crap. This is the problem, guys. We don't care about the character's feelings very much. We want the story. We want the big picture. We want the big shining star on the hill for Star Trek. That's what we want.
Yeah.
We don't need to know what Saru is feeling.
And now they're throwing all their weight into finding an alternative form of dilithium or space travel, because they know that after that they're still going to have this problem, even though they've dealt with the burn. And still, no one has gone to the Star Trek wiki and pulled up the other alternative form, Slipstream, which was a thing in Voyager, which was they were trying to figure out in Voyager time. You don't think they figured it out by now? For the love of God!
Well, it was messing up subspace though, so you got a little problem.
That's true. It was, but what about the Borg tech? Transwarp drives.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Right?
But there's more they could do, but they're just lazy.
No, we gotta go with the Spore drive. We gotta outfit
We're
everyone.
We're gonna talk Discovery next week, or is it 2 weeks?
Oh, that's right. We're still talking about it. Damn it. Okay, all right. We got
2 weeks. I think Jeremy said we got two more episodes.
All right. Well, let's put a cap in this then, and we can move on.
Yeah, Jeremy says the Borg ship looks like an image of a neuron.
Oh, it sort of does.
Okay, I'll take that.
Okay,
hey, Mr. Big Brain Jeremy. Thank you.
Big Brain. All right, we're gonna go to the member section here pretty soon. Before we do, can we talk about Peacock real quick?
We can talk about whatever you want. You got the list. Peacock. Is that what you want to talk? Is Peacock?
Peacock.
You're not gonna let me give my investor note? Did you like skip me?
You want to give the investor note? You
skip me on my investor note? Okay, look, guys.
It's getting late. It's like an hour and a half in already.
Okay, listen. If you want the tip on the investing. Okay, by the way, this is not financial advice. I got to say that. But if you do want it, we'll do it on the membership section. That's fine. Okay. Let's talk Peacock takes a swipe at Hulu before we go to the members.
All right. What is this? Why'd you send me this?
What? Oh, I didn't get to say that one. That's right. Okay, You see that right there?
Yeah.
Jonathan Del Arco, who played Hugh in TNG and was in the first season of Picard. He says here, obsessed with the first episode of Star Trek Picard, Trek at its best. And yes, this is the photo I took and the story I pitched with Michelle Hurd, right? Down there, that's the Raffi, right?
Raffi, okay.
Your Welcome World. So Jonathan Del Arco is the reason why we have the lesbian storyline between these two. He must have pitched it to them and they liked it.
Thanks, Jonathan.
So thanks, Jonathan. I don't think that was necessary, buddy. And especially, let me just say, I'm not buying this until you explain what happened to Chakotay. Until you explain what happened to Chakotay and 7 of 9, I'm not accepting this.
Yeah, I want you to explain that, and I want to see a full-on makeout session. Okay.
Right. If Chakotay like cheated on 7 and like jacked her up and hurt her emotionally and destroyed her, where she's like, I don't have nothing to do with men no more, then I'll believe it.
Chakotay's actually gay now.
Whatever. Give me an explanation that makes sense why she wants to be with Michelle Hurd.
Yeah.
Or she wants to be with Raffi. I'm cool with that. So, Jonathan, look, why don't you, instead of like coming up with ideas for other actors, why don't you tell them to let you back on the show? You know what I'm saying? Like it's cool that you're all about everybody else, but how about you act?
You know what I'm saying? That's your job, homie.
Hey, we liked you.
Yeah. All right, real quick, let's talk about NBC Universal cut programming flow to Hulu, rerouting Saturday Night Live and other shows to Peacock. And I'm going to say it. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. If you have a limited amount of money and you are trying to choose which streaming service to choose, you would be nuts to not be choosing Peacock.
Okay, wait. Because it's cheap, right?
Because not only is it the cheapest service, it also has the most amount of content as far as television is concerned.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
It is. It's underrated. It's overwhelming with the amount of content. Peacock has more content than Hulu, has more content you want to watch than Netflix. Netflix might have more content, but Netflix has a whole lot of garbage content, let's be honest.
Yeah, but the Peacock app is terrible.
The Peacock app is horrible,
and that makes it very hard.
They are rebooting shows inside this app and not even telling anybody about it. It's incredible. It's nuts. But you have full episodes of The Office, Parks and Rec, all those shows, all these amazing shows you've been watching that we've all been wanting to watch. We've been watching and been wanting to watch for years and years and years, are all living on Peacock, and it's $6 a month.
Cheers, Frasier, all of them, yeah.
Yeah, it is by far the most bang for your buck streaming service you can get. And now this news that they're pulling Saturday Night Live. Dude, I mean, I'm just stoked that another reason for me not to have Hulu. Because I am so close to canceling Hulu.
Yeah, I'll watch old episodes of Saturday Night Live, but I'm not watching the new stuff. But it's just one more cutting the legs out from underneath Hulu. You know, I mean, I guess Hulu has access to Fox, which is good.
Yeah. Oh my God, they pulled Law and Order too. My God. 30 Rock.
I mean, it's all coming. I mean, there's no reason whatsoever that Peacock wouldn't say, give us all our stuff back. Why wouldn't they? They should be all in on their own app.
Yeah, here's the deal. When all the contracts run out, then there's no reason to be running. I mean, I don't see a reason to have it at multiple places. Do you?
No, well, I mean, they're making money off of them. So Hulu was paying them for it, but once the deal's over, why not just get more subscribers on your own thing? I mean,
and where was the Super Bowl this year?
It was on Peacock, yeah.
It was on Peacock. Where was the Olympics?
Peacock.
The Paralympics, Peacock. The new Fresh Prince, the Bel Air reboot, Peacock.
Are you watching that?
I'm not watching it, but I'm just saying, if you're a fan of the Fresh Prince and you want to watch the reboot or
There
whatever.
is only one Fresh Prince, and it's not that guy.
Okay, all right, fine. Hold up.
Will Smith is the only Fresh
Yeah,
Prince.
fine. Sliders, The Office, Psych,
Oh, yeah,
Parks
Sliders.
and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Mr. This is all my stuff. Like,
By the way, Peacock's not paying us for this. In fact, I'm so cheap. I get the $5.99 version. What are you paying?
I paid the extra $2 to not watch ads, bro.
Is
Jesus
it two?
Christ.
No, it's $9.
Yes.
It's $9.
No,
right?
whatever. It's $10. Jeez.
Okay, so I'm paying half that because I'll watch the ads.
You're so cheap.
Sorry, I can't pay extra.
So they have NBC, they have Peacock, they have WWE, they have Telemundo, the NFL. I mean, talk about. Remember when an NFL package used to be like $150? Now it's $6.
Yeah, you're going to see the change. The NFL is going to change, though. I don't know how much longer NBC is going to have football. They
Dude,
might.
Modern Family, Superstore, George
Amazon's
Lopez,
coming on hard.
Married with Children. Like
It's all here.
It
No.
goes on for hours here. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of content on this network that costs less than there's a Chucky reboot, by the way.
Well,
Season 1 of Chucky.
And even though we're not pimping it out, I mean, NBC Peacock's great, but so is Paramount Plus. I mean, they got everything from ABC. They've got every Paramount Plus movie ever done.
I mean, Paramount Plus is okay, but I would not say, in comparison, they don't have as much content as they have a lot of
NBC's
Channel 2 stuff.
NBC's always been a more powerful programming.
Right.
You know, it's always been a better channel, especially through the 80s and 90s. But ABC also has a lot of stuff. And now that ABC and Paramount are together, Paramount's got a lot of movies.
That's true.
You know, so there is that combination. So Peacock, you might be getting the best price, but depending on what your taste is, both of them I think are very comparable. And if you're a Star Trek fan, of course, you're going to want to be on.
Right, but there's so many more sitcoms on Peacock. So many more dramas. Like, there's just like, I feel like there's like 3 times the amount of television on Peacock than there is on Paramount Plus.
Well, in the end, there won't be that because ABC all those years, they had sitcoms and all that stuff as well as right alongside of NBC for all those years. So they have all that content too, but NBC had the marquee stuff, the Cheers, the Office, they had some of those marquee, I think Friends was on, no, that was on Fox.
No, it was on Fox.
But anyways, must-see TV was NBC. So you've got all those shows. ABC was 60 Minutes, and I can't actually go back and remember. But ABC has its own lineups, and Fox, of course, came along later. But ABC, CBS. No, I'm sorry, I keep saying ABC. It's not ABC. CBS. ABC is part of Fox now, right?
Right, ABC is part of Fox. Yeah, right. Disney bought them.
So, yeah. So you got ABC on Hulu. You got CBS on Paramount, and you got NBC on Peacock. That's your main networks.
Yeah.
For decades of television.
Yeah.
And Hulu, I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's got the Orville.
Yeah.
I care about that.
That's the only reason I'm still signed up to the Hulu right now.
Don't they have?
They have a couple other things I like too, like they have like the Rookie, Family Guy. So they have they have Fox. Right now, the Hulu has Fox. That's why I'm still with the Hulu. Was still with Hulu is because of Fox stuff.
Okay. And Fox, they've got the Married with Children's and the.
Nope, that's Peacock now.
Is it really?
Married with Children is at Peacock.
It aired on Fox. I wonder how NBC ended up with it.
I don't know. They got it now.
That was how Fox hit the limelight. It was The Simpsons.
I remember Married with Children is officially at NBC.
Huh. Well, there you go.
Yeah, remember Channel 13, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was a UPN thing. It wasn't. Was it NBC? I don't remember.
Look at Jeremy. I'm glad you're here, and you're talking Star Trek. But are you planning an 8-hour show?
Right. Okay, we're gonna move on to the number section. You're right. Thank you, Jeremy, for keeping us in line here.
Keeping it real. Oh, Daniel's hot topics here. Let's see. 7 of 9 is hot and getting hotter. Yes, she's definitely as she matures, she definitely gets good looking. I also want to know why 7-Eleven left Chakotay. Yes, we got to know why that is. And some other stuff here we can talk about. All right.
Yeah. Hey, Shane, right, it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Crazy. All right, so let us move on to the members section. Okay, if you are watching this stream right now and you do not know what the members section is, it's really, 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 really simple. In the very first link in the description of this show, you can find the link to where we're going to continue the stream, because we're going to keep this stream going over on our other channel. You can also find it in the chat, which I just dropped in a couple times, or if you are you don't want to click on anything and you want to manually type something in, you can go to popcast.co/join, and that will take you right over to our members section. And so the last half of our show will be just for members, and we're going to be going over there right now. Right, Shane? Yeah.
Yeah, I lost you there for a sec, buddy.
Yeah, we're going to be going to the members section right now. All right, so Shane's a little wonky.
All right, did you have I lost you there for a second. Oh, was it me on my end?
It must have been. It wasn't me, I don't think.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to the members section. So that's where we're heading over there right now.